Oh, hey there. So, as probably a lot of you guys have realized by now, I'm not a waiter. And let me explain what I mean. So, I've got some friends that I've known actually for their entire life because they're younger than me. And they've decided to be missionaries in Asia somewhere. I can't really tell you where. And they were going door to door to give out Bibles to people in this country that did not have Bibles. And when they did, they felt some resistance. Like they're giving the Bibles away, they're telling the stories, but the interpreter was like, it just feels off today. Let's pray. And so they all prayed. The next house they went to, there was an old lady and her daughter and some kids and grandkids or whatever. And so they sat down and they said, have you heard the story of Jesus? We want to share this message with you. And they said, we've heard of Jesus, but because we're nomadic, because we don't stay in one place at any, for very long, we never thought we'd get to meet a Christian in real life. And so they were like, ooh, well, then we're going to tell you the story from start to finish. And they did, and they've got some, guides that help with pictures and things. And it's in their language, and they have an interpreter. And so they told this story, and at some point, two young boys kind of come in the room, and they're listening for a while, and he's getting to the part about Jesus, and they leave, and he's like, oh, this is very important. And they left, but he just kept telling the story to go get all their friends. And then their friends came back in, and then he kind of gets done with the story, or they kind of get done with the story. And then they said, we want to follow Jesus. How do we do that? How do we become Christians? And they're like, oh, good. And so the old lady, her kids, their kids, and neighbors all got saved that day. And I forget how many it was. It was a pretty good number of people, 7 or something like that, right? So they were very encouraged, very excited about this. And they went out, and later on they met up with some other people from their group. And I said, man, a lot of people are getting saved today. And he thought, you must be talking about the people that, that we got to see. And they're like, no, we've got a bunch of people that got saved too. And by the end of the day, they all got together, all the mission group, and 35 people got saved that day. And they were like, there's a lot of power in prayer. There's a lot of power in prayer. And here's what I mean about not wanting to be a waiter. So they told me that story, and I was like, I'd like to do that. And they're like, we actually have an opening on a mission trip coming up, and it's in 3 weeks from now. And I was like, how much is it? And they told me, and I was like, okay. And because it's short notice, the tickets cost a little bit more, and I'm like, I don't care. And so I'll be going on that mission trip in 3 weeks. So I'm very excited. I'm not a waiter.